What's up, guys? Welcome back. We've got a part 2 going on here of our Vegas trip. If you're following along in our community post, which you should be, by the way, you knew we took a trip to Vegas. And if you watched our last video, you know we did a Kiss World and Kiss Cruise coverage. But now, I know you've all been waiting for it. We went to the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum in downtown Las Vegas. So we're just going to go ahead and tell you what it was all about. So let's go. So no recording, no phones on, nothing, right? So unfortunately for us, we're trying to tell you this. We're going to try to put some pictures in from online, but you got to bear with us on this one. We're doing the best we can. Yeah. so
just sit back
and just listen.
Just relax. Go do
Grab
something.
A snack,
turn the volume up and let us kind of walk you through this.
Yes.
So I want to start at the very beginning.
Yes, like first room, walk in the
When
building.
you walk in, there's pictures and they're like Post Malone and Nicolas Cage and
all kinds of people.
Yeah, celebrities. But the first thing that hits you is the smell of incense. It is terribly powerful. And if you're not used to that, I feel like if I was in that for 2 hours and I didn't understand what it was or I wasn't used to it, you could get sick. Yeah. There's people who they talk about walking through who they pass out and things like that. So if you are very susceptible to smells,
be careful.
I would seriously be careful. Number 2, I would say we do a lot of haunted houses. We do a lot of haunted things, like almost every chance we get, we go do it. So for us, talking about these things, I am more curious to kind of see these things instead of like fearful of, oh my gosh, I don't really have that feeling. Like I said, I'm more interested. I look at it more like a museum than, oh my gosh, I'm really scared. But if you're a very fearful person,
be careful.
I would not do this.
I'm also going to say, I'm in the same category, but I definitely respect it a lot. Like I have a lot of respect for, the people who believe in, demonology and ghost hunting and like Zak Bagans. For those of you who don't know, he has Ghost Adventures. Like, that's his thing. He is all about that stuff, right? Do I personally believe in ghosts? No. Do I respect and want to do that? Absolutely. So when I go to these things, I'm open to it. I'm open to having the experience of, if you can prove to me that something happens, I want to experience it, right? Now, if you're going to go in, and your entire mindset is, this is not real, this is stupid, I'm going to make fun of it, don't do that. Don't go. Just leave it alone. Because these are things, a lot of these are religious items. A lot of these things have very heavy meaning to them. So it's like, it's not a haunted house.
There's a lot of death associated or agony.
There's a lot
pain.
of tragedy associated with this. So if that's your goal, to go in and kind of like flaunt how cool you are, don't go. Don't do it. It's so it's just disrespectful. And I have a problem with people who do that. It's just not cool, right?
But yeah, these are there are a lot of heavy-handed items.
Yes. And also, if you have kids, don't take them. Don't take your kid. There's a lot of standing up.
I think there is an age restriction.
Well, they tell you if you're under the age of 14, don't go.
Yeah.
I believe that. Make sure you're not like, oh, me and my kids are gonna go. I would not do it for so many reasons.
Yeah. Even 14, 15, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if this is the place I'd be taking my 9th grader.
No. No. Like I said, it's very heavy. There's a lot of really heavy energy in these rooms. I said,
it does get intense.
It does. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into some of these rooms and tell you, the stories behind some of this stuff and why maybe it does get so intense in some of these rooms. We're going to start. We're not going to go in order because I hate to say it. There's a ton of rooms in here and I kind of forgot what order everything goes in.
I think there's 15 rooms, 6. I don't know. There's a bunch.
There's a lot of rooms.
It is a good solid 2-hour tour, if not more. You have a guide And either the guide is going to tell you a story, or they have a TV screen where Zak Bagans is going to tell you a story.
You go in, and they kind of show you, there's like some oddities rooms. So if you've ever been to like an oddities museum, you know, kind of like, it's a lot of like taxidermy stuff. It's a lot of
eyeballs,
dolls, mannequins kind of things. And that's kind of the tame rooms. So if that bothers you, you're going to be in a lot of those. So maybe don't.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of eyes on you.
It's a constant feeling of I'm being watched. So if you have a problem with that, there's cameras, yeah. Which is really crazy, and you don't really realize until like halfway through, and you're like, oh, this whole thing's only on camera. I hope I haven't done anything crazy, you know?
I think they're recording to see if there is any activity when you're around as well.
Remember that. There's cameras everywhere. So if you think you can get away with something, no, you can't. There's cameras watching you all the time. One thing, there's a second oddities room that I have to go ahead and jump to. The wall moves. I didn't realize this. I was standing right next to this moving wall, and it opens, and I almost passed away. That scared me so bad. They throw a couple little tricks in there too. So it's not all just like, oh, museum walkthrough. Like there's they get you. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
It's not a bright light. It is dark.
It's very dark. So let's go ahead and start with like the big time object, the Dybbuk Box. So, for those of you who don't know, if you've ever seen the movie The Possession, for example, they have a Dybbuk box. It's like a wine cabinet kind of thing. And they are very famous for being very haunted. This one specifically is the one...
There's two in that room.
There was two in the room. One of them is supposed to be like the root of evil, and it's kind of like shaped as like a tree root. And the other one is just the more stereotypical Dybbuk box, right? The room that it's in, it's like locked behind glass. It's got its own like cupboard that it sits in, and they give you a whole story on it. The thing that got me so much was they tell you a story, and they're like, these were the terrible things that happened. So now you're gonna go in and look at it, and you're like, wait, I don't.
If you want to,
you don't have to do anything. However, I'm guessing if you're going and you've gotten to this point, you're probably gonna go see it.
And it's near the end.
Yeah, so if you've seen everything else, you know, you might as well just go ahead and do it, right? You know, if you've gotten cursed by something else, you might as well just go ahead. But, I mean, he was talking about, like, getting kidney stones and getting in a car crash and all these things, and then you get sent into the room to go look at it.
Yeah. And there's a video of him and Post Malone, and he's
gosh.
I just felt the need to touch it.
Yeah, first of all, Zach, stop doing that. What are you doing?
I know there's all these terribly evil things, right. But I feel like I need to touch it.
I'm going to touch it. Okay. But it is, I will say, very pretty. It's very detailed. And if you've ever seen any movie that has referenced this, it's such a cool thing to actually see it in real life and like hear the history behind it. So I thought it was pretty cool. To be like one of your main things, I was like, okay, like I'm down with this. This is super awesome.
I was really interested in the smaller box. I thought the detail on the smaller box. I was really drawn to that one.
Well, it's like gold a lot more, too.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
And they're like, so they're both behind walls, so you're not going to be able to touch.
Yeah, like
most of the things you're not going to be able to touch.
But even if you could, don't touch anything. They make that very clear. Do not touch anything. I don't know why you would want to. Don't do it. The other really big object that they say is like really haunted is the demon house staircase. So this was actually for us the last room we went in. Towards the end of the tour, you have two rooms you go in, and one of them is the creation of a spirit box, like the woman who created it. Really wild story to like see the pictures of her like contacting angels or demons or whoever she might have been, you know, contacting with. But then you go to another room, and for us, like I said, this is our last room, where they show you the video, and then the walls lower, and you see the dirt and the artifacts from the demon house and the staircase. I thought this was super cool.
So he bought the house, had it demolished.
Well, the house was being demolished, and so he went in and bought he went in and took the pieces out of it and said, well, it's mine now, as he does with, I feel like, everything. But it was really cool to see it. It's so strange for every room because he tells you this like really tragic story of these people who are just really struggling. A lot of these come from like abuse cases and, you know, just mental illness taking over people. And then they show you the objects and you're like, oh, because it's like, it's so much more real than just like seeing it on TV. Because you see it and you're like, oh, that's like...
Yeah, I think that room didn't... They said the door didn't lock or didn't close because people can run out of there.
Yeah. So that too. Moving on towards the beginning of the tour, they have a whole room, 2 rooms actually, dedicated to Dr. Death or Dr. Kavorkian. I don't know why I just like blanked on his name. They have his van. So this to me didn't feel so much like a ghost story as it did, not even true crime necessarily. I think it's such a controversial case to this day of was he in the wrong or not, because now like assisted suicide is so common and it's not really frowned upon anymore, but he was the one doing it first in his van.
And potentially had like over 100 people die in that van.
Well, yeah, they were documented. It was like 100, but then there's interviews saying, no, it's way more than that he never documented. So, but the van was supposedly destroyed. Of course, it was not. Zak Bagans bought it, and it is sitting in his museum. That room, to me, felt very heavy. That was, I think, the only one that I felt almost nauseous seeing. Because it's like, this is... To me, that was the realest thing I saw. Between that and the Gein room that we're going to get to in a second, those were the 2 places that it just felt so heavy in there. Because whether...
It's sad.
Yeah, whether it was, you know, approved of or not, just thinking about how many people in this van died in this van, and it is so sad. And you got a memorial to all these people, and it's so weird. But like I said, it's either, some people say it's, you know, crime, some people say it's, you know, medical innovation. Like, it really just depends on your mindset on the topic. But I did think it was pretty cool to see it. Moving back now to another case of the devil. We've got the devil's rocking chair. So this was one from, if you've seen The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, this is the story it's based off of. Now, if you ask me, I think the Warrens were a bunch of scammers, but some people think they weren't. To each their own. That's what I think. However, seeing the chair, hearing the story, they have the recordings playing of like the exorcisms and things like that. It's very... Like I said, I think it goes back to the Dybbuk Box. It's very interesting to see it. They also had the costume, kind of animatronic, from the movie that they were going to use before they scrapped it for The Nun, which I was really interested in. If you know me, I love puppets. I love costumes. That is my thing. I was locked into watching this demon in the room, being like, is there a guy in there? Because that's going to like really mess me up. And they had a bunch of like just artifacts from this like exorcism specifically because it is one of the more well-known ones. One of the more interesting things was a recreation of the bar called Bobby Mackey's. It's a bar that was in Kentucky that was said to be the gateway to hell. It was so weird because there again, it got demolished. Zak Bagans bought all like the wall pieces. There's floors. There's recreations of the well that had in it, and then a recreation of the apartment of the owner, and just all kinds of recreations of Bobby Mackey's. And I thought it was so cool, especially for a place that doesn't exist anymore or was renovated, and it doesn't look like that. To actually see it was cool. Another recreation that we got.
Well, I think that one was really creepy because it actually had a mummified head.
Oh my gosh!
In there, like a real head.
That was crazy.
And the story behind that one, if you don't know it, I mean, it's just super interesting. Like they had just this pit that has been used for
all kinds of
rituals And then they had this nightclub,
Right.
honky tonk,
which is
on
so
top
crazy that
Yeah.
did people know? Like, I guess, right?
They had to.
Crazy.
You think.
Crazy. Another recreation that they had was the Al Capone room. They had, real memorabilia from his house. Like the rug with actually like the cigar stains on the rug. And when she was like, and you're standing on it, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No way. It was really cool to see that. Another room kind of tied into that. They had a bell that was dedicated to Harry Houdini. That you could say, yeah, it's conjuring his spirit here with us. It was more like a seance room. And there's like real bones in there. Like there's real human like remains in here, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
But
it's a real museum.
yes. And it's very weird because they're like, and there's a body in there. And you're like, huh? Because like they say that as you're walking in. I'm like, oh, well, okay. Great. One room that was interesting is an art room. There's like an art gallery, right? And it's saying all these haunted paintings or paintings that were made specifically for Zak Bagans by artists who made these other haunted paintings. Some of them that were slashed open, that had been repaired. I just think that's really cool, whether you believe they're haunted or not. Seeing art that has been destroyed, recreated, is one of the coolest things to me. I love that.
And that was from the movie Silent Hill.
Yeah, which I was, because they slashed the paintings, and then you actually can see the slash that they put in the painting, and then they put it back together. In this room, you have Bela Lugosi's mirror that you say you can look in and see, I guess, your reflection do something. I just saw my reflection. I didn't see it, but I thought it was cool.
Mine smiled back at me,
Oh, did it?
And it was really, really handsome.
This is what they're talking about. This is exactly what they're talking about.
I opened the mirror and I was like, dang, you look
All
good.
We're gonna get haunted now. They're coming for us now. Anyways, moving back, you know what? Let's go ahead and knock out the silly stuff before we hit the not so silly stuff.
The clown room.
The clown room. There's a freak show hallway, right? There's a lion head. There's a guy who... I was not expecting this. Yeah. So they have a guy who has like the Guinness World Record for the longest drill head to enter
stick in
his
your
face.
head.
There was nothing that could have prepared me to watch that. Yeah. Shout out to this guy though. Drill. Like, what a skill. That's awesome. But really freaked me out because I was like, oh my gosh, he put a drill in his head. Like, this is crazy. It goes like through his nose, right? Yeah. So warning you.
And he was friends with Eric Singer.
Yeah, from Kiss, which is okay. But yeah, he was super cool. He was really nice to us, really cool room, like seeing all the like freak show things. But that really caught me off guard. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that stuff freaks me out. This is the time that they tell you, hey, by the way, there's a real person in this next room.
Yeah. And there's a hallway full of mannequins.
Listen, you walk in the room. If you're scared of clowns, I'm so sorry for the just terrible experience they're going to put you through, because there is clown outfits, there's mannequins of clowns, there's artifacts of clowns in this room, there's strobe lights going, it feels like you're going through a haunted house and it's all clowns and they're all this close to your face, and then there's a real guy dressed as a clown in there with a horn. And
openings in the wall.
Yeah. I was sweating. I almost cried. I didn't like any of that. And I'm not scared of clowns. It's just the fact that I did not want to be doing that. Like I'm here to see a museum. I was not mentally prepared for this.
Yeah, this is about halfway through. So
and
you already got a pretty good spook on.
Yeah.
And now you got this dude popping out in multiple places trying to scare you.
The whole time when she said, there's one real guy in here. And I knew exactly where it was. And I was like, please tell me the clown room's not next. And then we get to clown room. She's like, have fun. And I'm like, Like, I was not having fun. I did not like it. That is the only room that I was genuinely, like, shaking, and I was not having a good time. The rest of it I can take. You know, I can take the demons, I can take the ghosts. Get me out of that room now. Moving on, the basement. So this house has a basement to it, which is supposed to be, you know, the highest amount of energy. People did, you know, satanic rituals in it.
Pentagram sketched in the ground.
Right.
Or...
Now, they also had a little exhibit dedicated to Anton LaVey, which he was the founder of the Church of Satan, towards, like, the very beginning. So you kind of know, all right, there's going to be some devil stuff in here. And they said, okay, they did satanic rituals in the basement of this house. The house that you're standing in right now. And here's the basement. Have fun. But this is RIP only. And you go down these stairs. And I'm expecting a large basement.
Yeah.
This basement is so tiny. Like, there was 13 people in our group, and 13 people could not fit in this basement at the same time. So I'm not sure how you're doing these rituals. I'm going to need a recreation of how this is happening. I don't know if places were blocked off, maybe.
And you also had a spirit box, like,
yes,
blasting the whole
which,
time.
I don't believe in spirit boxes. I'm sorry, it's radio currents. I know how this works.
We didn't hear anything.
Nobody talked to me, okay?
Yeah.
I was willing. I wanted them to. Nobody said a word.
There was three spirit boxes in 3 different rooms, and we didn't hear anything.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was interesting. You know, there was some dolls in there. You know, there was some objects that they used in rituals.
It's so tight.
But it's so small, and it's warm.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, get me out of here.
You just kind of go and make a loop. It's almost just like follow the leader.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's so cool. Is it worth it? Absolutely. However, I'm warning you, it's small, and it's very
dark,
suffocating. If you're claustrophobic, I'm sorry, because this is going to be really hard for you.
So this is tight, dark, loud, and it smells.
Yeah, so it's a lot to take.
It is a lot on your senses. So if you are like sensitive, I guess, I don't know, perception sensitive,
it's
this
tough.
is going to be a tough one. And you don't have to do it.
No, you
it's
don't.
It's optional.
But if you paid for it, you're going to go do it, right?
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like a whole nother branch of the museum, and it was literally just kind of like one room.
Well, it's a room, but I'm wondering if there is maybe more to it that they have blocked off, because it felt very small.
Yeah.
But like I said,
maybe
I would like to see a recreation of how they were doing that, because it is so small and it's tight. And I'm
like two or 3 people.
Maybe. I don't know. You know, this is something that Zak Bagans needs to explain to me. I don't know. Now we're going to hit some more real topic. Not saying the other ones weren't, but these are a little bit more real. There's a serial killer room. So if you're into true crime, I'm into true crime. I like studying stuff like that. I think it's very interesting. This room comes after the Kavorkian room. And you go in, and it's a jail, right? And everything in this room belonged to a serial killer, including the jail bars. Everything. There's mugshots on the wall. There's a Bundy exhibit thing that has his tools that he used in it. There's Manson's death gown in it. There's art he made with his own teeth and blood and hair. And
John Wayne Gacy, art. There's art
Richard
from,
Ramirez.
Yeah.
All of these people. And it's so... We've been to quite a few, like, serial killer museums. Like, we've gone to the Alcatraz East in Gatlinburg. Great museum. They have a lot of... Not memorabilia. I don't even know what you... I guess it is.
Yeah, exhibit.
We went to Graveface in Savannah. Going here... It's not things I necessarily haven't seen before, but it never fails to just make you feel icky. It feels gross. It feels like you need to take a shower afterwards or throw up. Maybe all of the above. It's so nasty because it's like, these are real people. Yeah. These are real people who have documented crimes of like just the worst things you can imagine. And they did it.
And this is where you take your water break.
No, literally, they were like, and here's a water machine. I was like, no.
Yeah. I was over there by the water cooler, chilling in jail.
Absolutely not. I was like, okay, that feels so morbid to go in, and they're like, and here's some water if you want some water. I'm not looking at the Ted Bundy tools that he used while sipping on a glass of water. Okay, I'm not doing that.
So they keep having videos and telling you, it's like, well, so-and-so passed out in this room, or so-and-so feels the spirits in
I
this
get
room.
it, because it could be the smell. Like, it definitely could be. It's very strong. But it's just topics that just make your stomach churn a little bit, and it's like, I feel like I have a pretty strong stomach working with some of this stuff, but like,
and it's
even I was struggling at some points. I was like, this is really, really sad and deep, and it's so heavy on you.
And it's a long tour.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 hours is a long time to be.
Well, when you're going back and forth to like the freak show exhibit with the clown, and then you're coming into this room and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you're going back to like, and here's some dolls. And then it's like, and here's the devil. And you're like, oh my God. Like, they really hit you with the whiplash of like back and forth of like, you heal up for a second, and then they just like throw a baseball at you, and you're like, oh my gosh, okay.
Right, so after the serial killer room, they get into the Ed Gein room.
Y'all know how I feel about Ed Gein. I've covered this.
Watch your video.
Watch the video where I talk about how we shouldn't glorify serial killers because they're terrible, terrible people. Ed Gein specifically, because, ew, they have things from his house. Oh my gosh. They have a cauldron that he was letting people leak into that were hanging from the ceiling.
So they had a mannequin
kind of tied up.
Cut in the way. They had the pitchfork.
Yeah, the shovel.
The shovel and the pot cauldron.
Well, they had letters on the wall. They had like, this was the last picture he ever took. But the thing that got me, that made me want to run out of this room, this was the only room that I stood by the door the whole time. I did not want to be in this room. On the wall, in the corner, they have a frame. And you're looking at it. You're like, huh, that looks really suspicious. Because it is. It's human skin from a human body that is treated like leather, and it's on the wall. Oh my gosh, that is not something that people need to see. That is not anything that anybody wants to see. This room also, by the way, has sound effects going on in the background of like, oh, you're in a barn, you're outside. Yeah. I hated this room. I hated this room.
Thunder and lightning.
This room was disgusting. It was too heavy. It was... I think about that room to this day. We're recording this like a week after we went. That room is nasty. Like, going from like, here you go, Dr. Death, serial killers, Ed Gein. And I'm like, this is too much. I didn't enjoy it. The cauldron, gross. But then they're saying, well, there's ghosts tied to it. Here's my thing. I don't care. You know, like, there's nothing in my body that's like, well, I wonder if this thing's haunted. There was people in there. Like, ew. And then they were planting flowers in it. That's what they said. They were trying to plant flowers in this cauldron in memorial of the people who died from his hand, right? And I get it. But how morbid is that, you know? And it's just really weird. And there's still, like, remains from the flowers, not from the people, thank goodness. But it's just the idea of it that I was like, I could not get out of this room fast enough. I think I was the first one out when they opened the door. Get me out of there. So yeah, that's how I feel about the Ed Gein room. Not a fan, per se. But moving on to what y'all all clicked on this video for. I know y'all like some haunted dolls, okay? And this is what they advertise, you know? Oh, we've got the most haunted doll. It's not Annabelle. Okay, she's not there.
Yeah. They had a chair that Annabelle sat in.
That's true. She did sit in the chair.
So she had been to the museum, but she wasn't.
Because of course Zak Bagans was touching her.
Yeah.
What else is he gonna do, right? But no, she was not there. However, Peggy was there. Now Peggy, kind of the same thing as Annabelle. All haunted dolls, when you really think about it, It's kind of the same thing, right? It's creepy. Creepy dolls are creepy always, right? Now, this room is full of dolls. And they're all haunted.
And some are moving.
And some of them are moving. They're
Yeah.
like animatronics. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But she's hidden behind some like tinted glass. Then they turn it on. They turn a spirit box on. Did she talk to me? No. So that was rude. I didn't appreciate that. You know, I'm here for you. And you can't even talk to me.
You had to say hello and goodbye.
Yes. I respect it. However, come on, girl. Come on. Really? She did not speak to us. Was she scary? Yes. Did I look into her eyes? No, I did not. I don't want to do that. I'm good. But then they hit you. Boom, boom. They hit you with a double spear here because they say, no, actually, she's not the most haunted doll here. We got another one. And you're like, well, I didn't see this on the website. You know, there's another one. This one's name is Noma. And he was talking about crazy things that were happening. I still kind of sit back and I'm like, okay. When he said that he had kidney stones after he looked at this doll.
That's how it works.
So, really? Like, that's what we're gonna lean on?
Not his diet.
Well, and they were also talking earlier, they had like, in another room, it was another exorcism and some like documents from this exorcism that you sit down and watch a video and then you walk through a tunnel and it's kind of scary. But sitting in there, he says, and then the guy got this thing growing inside of him and it had hair and it had teeth. That's what tumors do. Mm-hmm. That I don't necessarily think that's a demon. I think that could just be a health anomaly. Like Zak Bagans' kidney stones. Look, and maybe it did.
Or it's a doll.
Maybe it did, and I'm being a skeptic. Yeah. But
I guarantee you, out of 13 people, 11 people missed the doll.
It's so tiny. Like, this thing, okay, so you walk in the room.
It's like a maze or a horseshoe.
Yeah, it walks like this, right, when you walk into this room. It is, like, hidden in a corner. Mm-hmm. And it's in, like, a cabinet, kind of like the Dybbuk Box.
And it's
in a cabinet. And it's like this big. It's tiny. And it's, like, hidden, like, in the bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure most people... I was looking for it. And I didn't catch it until I walked past it, turned around, and went, oh, there it is.
I saw it.
I literally walked right by it, and I didn't see it because I didn't realize what it was.
I was expecting it to be creepy.
It was just a little guy.
And Peggy wasn't creepy either.
No, I don't... Dolls struggle to be creepy for me. I've seen a lot of dolls. I like dolls. But...
Well, if they're like old kind of cracked porcelain,
that's scary.
You know, something like that. But they're just dolls.
Yeah, the story for the Noma one was definitely more scary than seeing it. Part of me actually wishes that I never saw it, because then I could say, oh, maybe it was like really scary. But then I saw it and I was like, okay. Look, and that's the thing. That covers most of the things that we saw. I mean, there's a couple. If you want to see all the rooms, just go. Go to the museum. It's so worth it. It's so fun to go to. Yeah. If you can handle it.
So we just saved you $80. So if you want a super chat,
go ahead. Yeah. But I will say, like, so much of it, I'm not a skeptic per se, but I also don't have any experience to say that ghosts are real or not. I think I'm more on the category of I want it. I want to see a reason to, because I've always been so interested in stuff, like haunted stuff. I think it's so interesting, but I've just never seen it. So, look, I wanted something to talk to. You know, any chance of, like, ring the bell. Okay. Hey, go through this. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm the first one to do it. I want to see it, right? And this was such an interesting museum because they kind of just allow you to make your own conclusions about a lot of it. If you're a skeptic and you say, I don't believe any of this, then you can go home and say, well, it's cool to see. Mm-hmm. Or if you do believe it, maybe you do feel the energy of a ghost or something happening in there. And I think that's also super cool.
I'm not sure there's a lot of positive energy in there, though.
No.
Because they keep telling you, it's like, make sure you have a positive energy or think positive thoughts so you can protect
I hate
yourself
to say
against
it, Zach, and this is directly to Zach. It's really hard to keep a positive energy when you're walking into the devil room.
Everything is bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to be like, oh,
Keep
I'm
on
thinking
smiling.
positive.
Keep on smiling.
When I walk into the
Trooper.
room, I know my face the whole time is like, you know, like I'm trying, man, but I can't do all that.
Yeah,
But
worth going.
worth it. Go. It's fun. People there are so nice and they're so open to everything.
Yeah. Any questions?
Let us know. If I got anything wrong, let me know. I don't think I did, but maybe.
It happens.
Yeah, y'all sure had a fun time telling me I got Peter Chris's drums wrong. Shout out to all those people. I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're not perfect.
Exactly.
It's fine.
You still subscribed.
It's fine.
I guess we'll see you next time. Unless the ghost come.